Hello you lot, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today I'm going to revisit an old favourite recipe that really could have been better and should be better. So I'm going to make meatloaf. So shout outs to Mark, Slate, Anne-Marie and Cedric the dog. I love the spelling of Cedric there, it's really good. Right, here's the story. 3 or 4 years ago I made American style meatloaf. I don't know why I called it that because it proved to be my undoing, but I don't know any other style of meatloaf. It's not a huge thing here in the UK. We don't really do meatloaf, so if we did it would probably have spam in it. And I based my effort on the idea that, you know, I think regular meatloaf is a bit boring, it's a bit bland, it lacks flavour basically. So I found this recipe on Serious Eats, which is a fairly technical website where they examine the chemistry and the science behind food. And they had a recipe for what they said was a perfect meatloaf. It had marmite in it, it had anchovies in it, probably had mushrooms in it, it had a lot of things in it to pump up the umami and make it really you know, nom nom. And the response was dismal. There's all these Americans like, you don't, and aggressive, and sweary and unpleasant, you know, along the lines of, you don't put marmite in it, you don't put this in it, how dare you, you know, this is an insult, da-di-da-di-da. And my favourite, you should have done an American recipe. Ha! Well, I did. So, you know, open your minds a little bit. So recently I've had a couple of people wanting meatloaf. Susan Farley is one. She sent me an outline of her recipe, which involves grated carrot, soy sauce, beefy mushroom soup mix or bouillon, and a half cup of Parmesan cheese. And I think that would be fantastic. I'm not going to do it because it's exactly the same trap as the first version. It's too many things that are not standard. So, sorry. I'm going to do the one that Gary Morley sent me. So I won't tell you what's in that because we'll see later. Alright, if you enjoy this video, give it a like, share, subscribe, become a patron, make a donation, etc. And without further ado, let's do it. We'll start off making the meatloaf by constructing a mirepoix, which is a classical French base for many savoury dishes. And it's very finely chopped onion, carrot and celery. Now we need to just sweat these veggies and get them a bit golden soft. So to do that you want a saucepan on medium heat and chuck a load of butter in there, and when it's melted add your veggies, stir them around, turn it right down low, and when the veggies have got going you can add a teaspoon of whole grain mustard and a sprig of rosemary, a couple of sprigs of thyme and a couple of bay leaves, and let it cook for maybe 10 minutes. Okay, so, ooh, nice, oops. So nice and hot, and I'm just going to pull out the herbs and bay leaves. Obviously if you've used dried herbs you can leave them in because you'll have a very hard time getting them out. But anyway, right, I'm going to put that in a separate bowl, let it cool down, and then stick it in the fridge to cool down completely. Now the rest of the stuff for the meatloaf, I've got 250 grams of ground beef, minced beef, 250 grams of ground pork, minced pork, not yet, 2 eggs, pinch of salt, and a couple of grounds of pepper, and a handful of breadcrumbs. I couldn't get ready minced pork this time, so I've got some chunks of pork and I got a bit of fat that's left over from some pork belly. So I just need to whack those through that. Right, so now we can just hurl it all together into a bowl. And the veggies. And the eggs. and mix them all together. Now, some salt and pepper, or even pepper and salt. Now, one thing about seasoning this, it's hit and miss because you can't taste it unless you make a little patty with the filling and fry that off, and then you can taste it. Now you need to heat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius for a convection oven, fan oven. That's 200 for a conventional one. That's gas mark 6, I think. And you'll need a loaf tin and some bacon. I often get comments from Americans about our bacon. This is what we call back bacon, and it is actually the pork loin with this little bit of almost, you know, the area going into the ribs still attached, and it's wonderful stuff, and it's a shame you can't get it, because so line the tin with bacon. I mean, it doesn't matter if you haven't got this, you can use the other kind, which is streaky. And then we'll spoon the meat mixture in. Alright, and then just fold any extra bacon over the top. So that's just about enough to cover the whole thing. It doesn't matter if you can't quite manage it, you know, but it's nice if you can. And then we'll pop this in the oven for 30 minutes and then mess about with it a little. Okay, time's up. So you want to turn down the temperature to 160 Celsius for a fan oven, that's 180 for a conventional one, that is gas mark 4. And take the loaf out. Just unwrap it. Should be some liquid kicking about, so just grab that and baste the top of the loaf with it. And chuck it back in for another half hour. Alright, there's one more element, which is the gravy. Now, Gary Morley's idea for the gravy is 2 tablespoons of whole grain mustard, a pint of chicken stock, half a jar of blackcurrant jam. So I've run out of whole grain, but I've got Dijon, and I think I'll just use 1 tablespoon because that is a lot stronger than whole grain mustard. Chicken stock were okay. The jam, I've only got strawberry jam, so I'll use that. And I'm a bit worried about it being sweet, but I think it's meant to be. Anyway. Thought not. Okay, so we'll bring that to boil and we'll let it boil furiously to reduce till it's thickened. Okay, here's the meaty loafy. That doesn't look very inspiring really, does it? I think I'll pop that back in the oven for 10 minutes just to firm up the outside. Alright, it's actually had another 15 minutes. And it looks a lot better. So I'm just going to let that rest for about 10 minutes. Okay, and now it's taste test time with Mrs. KeefCooks. Hello!
Hello! Is this the recipe that Io suggested, or is this a...
No, it wasn't I. It was some of the people that I've explained.
Oh, okay. I'm slightly out of it. I'm doing the working from home experience. I can still see the laptop before my eyes. It's got a very nice fruity gravy.
That's because it's got strawberry jam in it.
You're joking.
I'm not.
Oh!
It is surprisingly tasty.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I like that. This is meant to go in sandwiches, isn't it?
Kinda.
Oh, it's a big, yeah, this is a great sandwich.
But also, you know, you can serve it hot with, well, the gravy and mashed tatties and green veggies and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's had time to cool down a bit. So, I'm not getting that, but, ooh, yeah, I like this. I like the texture as well.
Okay. That was really good. We're not jumping up and down because we're both pretty tired today. So, anyway.
It is nice, that.
It is. Better than the first one. Right, okay. Thank you for watching and see you next time.